Welcome back to the bettors on Thursday morning edition, 8th of April. We are doing the daily breakdown as we are doing on all weekdays. We have two shorter slates than usual. The games aren't really amazing, to be honest, on either slate, but there are some interesting ones, and we will focus on those. Starting with NBA and always, and then we will switch to the MLB slate. So first NBA game, LA Lakers at the Miami Heat. Heat laying 8 points. Obviously, Lakers still without LeBron and AD. Additionally, Kuzma now has a calf strain. He is likely playing through it. Looks like it, but I'm not touching this game. I think the Heat are slightly overpriced here. I would make this closer to 7 than 8, to be honest. But this is not, as I said multiple times, I'm not touching the Lakers until either of their two good players are coming back. Chicago Bulls at the Toronto Raptors. This is a way more interesting game. Bulls laying 3.5 points on the road. My line here is 3.5. Between 3 and 3.5. At 3, I would probably look at the Bulls. I'm kind of playing a waiting game now. Haven't bet this yet. I think we could see some threes popping up on other books, and that would be the spot to jump in. Bulls play another game tomorrow, but everyone looks like is good to go. Lavine, McCann, White all tagged as probable. While probable tag should be good, but we have been burned with these lately. But yeah, I'm expecting everyone to play. For the Raptors, Lowry, Van Fleet are both out. The matchup isn't good for the Raptors, to be honest. They always have problem with strong rebounding teams. At this moment, Bulls grade as the best team in defensive rebounding in the entire league, and the Raptors just grade 21st in offensive rebounding. Toronto also 3-7 in the last 10. They now own the seventh worst record in the league. Just grading 23rd in offensive points per possession through the last 2 weeks. Bulls are getting to the rim at the 7th highest rate. They are 12th in field goal percentage in the paint. Toronto defense grading 21st. And the Bulls are a good 3-point defense, and you don't really need much more against the Raptors. Raptors are putting up the third most threes in the league. 42% of all their shot attempts are coming from 3-point range. They are 13th in field goal percentage, and the Bulls defense allows the 7th lowest field goal percentage from downtown. So yeah, I think the matchup, the health, we have seen, I think, some improvements from the Bulls in the last few games. Obviously, they all came against teams that were either weak or missing players, but that's the case here with the Raptors. I think they can pull this one off. Superior rebounding, good 3-point defense, fully healthy. They still have a shot at the playoffs. I think that's going to matter. I like the Bulls. I think 3.5 is fair. If I can get a 3, I will likely jump on them. Cleveland Cavaliers at the OKC Thunder. Cleveland laying 3 points on the road, slightly juiced. No way I'm touching this one. These are two of the worst teams in the league, 3-7 in the last 10 for both squads. OKC playing their third game in 4 nights and the back-to-back. They also lost 4 straight. The guys who are confirmed out, who were confirmed out for last night, I'm not expecting any change for tonight, are Horford, SGA, Dort, Bazley, and Muscala. Cleveland is an extra rest, but Allen and Nance are both out, basically their front court. Love came back, I think, 3 games ago, but he's playing 20-ish minutes, averaging 10 points, 10 rebounds, but he isn't gonna change anything for Cleveland, in my opinion. This is just the OKC team is tanking more than anyone else, but Cleveland is just too bad to lay points with on the road. I think the line is fair, around 3. I wouldn't touch this game. Milwaukee Bucks at the Dallas Mavericks, another interesting one. Giannis is doubtful to play for Milwaukee. He already missed 2 straight games. I'm not expecting them to push him to play here. And while the Mavericks are in a terrible spot, they did play last night. They lost to the Houston Rockets, out of all teams. This is also their third game in 4 nights, fifth in 7. Minutes were also pretty high for them. Porzingis played 36, Doncic 37 minutes. I like them here, to be honest, as home dogs. I think if you look at money lines, you can get like even or slightly plus money. I think the downgrade with Giannis likely out is more than what correction the bookies made here. Mavericks, I think they face a good matchup right now. The Bucks are allowing the fifth highest three-point field goal percentage in the league, and we know that the Mavs are putting up threes like crazy. The fifth highest rate of threes, slightly below Toronto. We just talked about them. So yeah, they face a good matchup offensively. Last night, the Mavs had a 43.7% effective field goal percentage, their worst outing in the entire season. I just checked. I mean, I don't think this team will shoot this badly 2 nights in a row, to be honest. And I think Giannis out is great for this matchup for them. I'm completely expecting Giannis to play. Obviously, if he is in, I will hedge out my bet. But in the first outing between these two, he was really holding Porzingis back. I just watched the game not too long ago. Porzingis was really had back. He had like 10, something between 10 and 15 points. Obviously, wasn't real efficient, but I think Giannis out here helps Dallas a ton. Obviously, he is a key part of the rebounding game as well, averaging over 11 rebounds. Yeah, Bobby Portis starting in his spot. I think 1 or 2 games ago had like a heroic high rebounding performance. I just don't see that being the case in all games. Yeah, the spot isn't good for the Mavs, but this is a good matchup for what they want to do, and I think Giannis out will help Porzingis a ton. I think they shouldn't be home dogs, to be honest. I'm not high on either team. I'm relatively low on Dallas compared to the market, but I show an edge here, getting 1.5 points at home. Phoenix Suns at the LA Clippers. 5 is the spread. This is an ugly spot in my opinion. Obviously for the Suns, they just beat the Utah Jazz last night. In overtime, Booker played 44 minutes, which is okay. He's still a young guy, but Chris Paul played 43 minutes. He averages like 31 or 32 minutes, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I'm not sure he will be able to play here, or he will be able to play like high minutes here. We will see. Suns obviously won 7 straight. Last night's W was extremely important for them. We could see the effort, and obviously it showed in the minutes. I think this is a way more difficult game to win. I mean, showing up big time 2 days in a row, now on the road, it's extremely difficult. And Clippers are almost fully healthy. I think only Ibaka is the one out. Beverly is back. They are at home, fully rested, of course. Yeah, but the thing is, I think this is a pretty big correction. I don't think there is this much difference between these two teams. So yeah, the books are really expecting the Suns to either like keep the minutes low, or even to like scratch CP3. In my opinion, I'm closer to 4 here, but I would never back the Suns here in this spot. It's a bit different. Like, I'm backing Dallas, but they are at home. They are younger. They haven't played that high minutes. But the Suns on the road, I think Chris Paul, yeah, at his age, it's a bit more difficult. And I'm high on the Clippers. We've seen them rolling in the last 2 weeks. The defensive part has been improving them for a lot. This was a team that had problems on the defensive end. They are 8-2 in the last 10, grading 4th in defensive points per possession allowed in the last 2 weeks, which is insanely good for them. And obviously, I think they are the better offense than the Suns here. So yeah, they are overpriced, but I get the reason. I'm not going to get involved here. Portland Trailblazers at the Utah Jazz. 7 is the spread. My spread is exactly 7. Jazz are in a pretty difficult spot, similarly to the Suns. OT loss. They are only just 1.5 game ahead of Phoenix now in the standings. Obviously, they have a way easier remaining schedule, so I still think they will have the best record in the West, but this is a tough spot. Mitchell played 41 minutes, Gobert 37, Conley 35. Third game in 4 nights, back-to-back with travel. Blazers upgraded Nurkic to questionable, which is a bit of a surprise. I'm not sure if he plays or not. But yeah, I'm expecting a rebound from the Jazz. They shot at a season low 25% from 3-point range last night, and now they get to face a team that's 24th in 3-point defense in the league. You have to know that the Jazz are putting up the most threes in the league, and they own the highest field goal percentage also. And the Blazers are really one of the worst defenses against threes in the league. So the Jazz had an ugly offensive game, 50% effective field goal percentage. And the weird thing was that they got out-rebounded. They had a 20% offensive rebounding percentage, while Phoenix had a 30%. Aiton did show up big time last night. So yeah, I'm expecting the Jazz to roll here. Way better rebounding, way better free throw rate. They are a great 3-point defense, and you don't really need more against the Blazers. And I don't think the Blazers will be able to slow them down. They might be on tired legs, but I think the matchup is just too good, and this isn't a team that can shoot this badly 2 straight days. Detroit Pistons at the Sacramento Kings. Spread is 6.5 now. This opened up 4.5, but the big news came that Jeremy Grant will be out for the Pistons. I think this might be the first game he misses the entire season. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the case. He's out with knee soreness. Pistons, obviously, one of those teams that's tanking right now. If they start keeping Grant out, this could really turn into something ugly. Grant averaging 22.5 points. The second highest, second best scorer on the team right now is averaging like 13 points. One of the highest usage rates in the league. It will be really interesting to see how the Pistons adapt. Also, third game in 4 nights for them, fifth in 7, I think. Also, it's ugly. But on the other hand, Kings lost 4 straight after they looked really fine like a few weeks ago when Halliburton won the starting job. But now they lost 4 straight. It's really not a team I wanna back laying 7-ish points. I make the 7, to be honest. A 6.5. I show a slight edge on the Kings. I don't think the 4.5 to 6.5 is enough correction with Grant being out. I think on this roster he's worth a bit more than 2 points. So I think this will end up going to 7, maybe even 7.5. Kings are on extra rest again. They are still a top 10-ish offense in points per possession, also pretty efficient, but obviously they are one of the worst defenses in the league. I haven't bet this game yet. I think this will get to 7. That's the line we will see, maybe even 7.5. It's a really tough thing to pull the trigger here, but I think the extra rest versus the short rest and Grant being out warrants this line, and I'm heavily leaning towards the Kings. So, summing it up, I like the Bulls. I think 3.5 is fair. Waiting for other books to open up. Maybe we see a 3. I saw a 3 earlier. It quickly got bet to 3.5. I think Bulls will be the side here. You need to upgrade them. They are starting to build some chemistry. Lavin now playing healthy. I think Vooch is starting to feeling it with his new team. Raptors are just tanking. I think the Bulls are really the side here. I like the Mavs. It's a difficult spot for them. On a back-to-back, they played high minutes, third in fourth, fifth in seven. But this is a young team. They are coming off their worst shooting game of the season. Milwaukee won't have Giannis, very likely. He's doubtful. They are a bad three-point defense, I think. Giannis out will take away Milwaukee's rebounding edge. Mavs will be able to shoot. They shouldn't be home underdogs, in my opinion. And then the Kings are my final look. Haven't bet this yet. I think 6.5 isn't an enough move from the 4.5 we've seen earlier. Grant out. I think he's worth around 3 points for this spread, but it's super difficult to lay 6.5 points with a Kings team that has one of the worst defenses in the entire league. So I completely understand if someone decides to stay away here. All right, we are switching to MLB. I have to tell you guys, this is the ugliest baseball slate I've ever seen. Not too many good looks, but I have a few games that could maybe move into playable range. We are going to break down everything as always. So, first game, Miami at the New York Mets. Mets starting Walker. Miami is likely starting Nick Neidert, who is a bullpen arm. I just looked him up. Basically, he played already. He pitched, I think, 2 innings a few times this season. The guy is nothing special, 60% ground ball rate so far this season. I have been talking about Miami going the ground ball way. Basically, all the guys they brought into the bullpen and all their starters are heavy ground ball guys. They are really the front of this ground ball movement. We will see how this will work them out. I think Neidert had just a few innings in the MLB last season, and he has 40 innings in AAA where he averaged 5+ FIP. Not really a guy you are interested in. Obviously, this will be a bullpen game. He will open and pitch for 1 or 2 innings, and we will see the rest. Walker for the Mets, I really liked him back in 2017 with Arizona. He had Tommy John surgery a year later. Last year, he pitched 53 innings, had a 5+ FIP, but he had some really good outings. Overall, my main problem with him is that he's super inconsistent. And nothing is really making me like him when I look at his season-long stats. Lefties really got him. He allowed the 6.4 FIP against lefties. Only a 7.8% swinging strike rate, pretty high walk rate, almost at 9%. But he had some solid stats against righties, 239 WOBA, 3.3 FIP. And there are only 2 lefties in the expected Miami lineup. I think Walker will likely have a fine game here. I would price them around something like -175. I think that's fair. We will see where this line opens up. I don't think we will find value on the Mets, to be honest. I mean, this isn't the day where you want to back Miami. They have nice starting pitchers, but obviously in a bullpen game, it's a completely different situation. Cubs at Pittsburgh, Arrieta at Anderson. Yeah, this is a rematch. I think the same matchup was played on the second day or the third day. Yeah, second day. Arrieta looked real good in his opening outing. He went 6 innings with 5 Ks, only 1 walk, gave up 6 hits, only 1 earned. He pitched 84 pitches. Usually I'm fading teams, fading pitchers pitching against the same team in a short period of time, but that's not the case with Pittsburgh. They are the worst team in the league when Hayes isn't in the lineup. Arrieta is 8.5K on DraftKings. Amazing. He is getting some respect. Obviously, he's a ground ball guy, 52% ground ball rate last season, only giving up 32% hard contact, but he isn't really missing too many bats, just a 7%, 7.4% swinging strike rate. Lefties have been really covering him up. I mean, Pittsburgh doesn't really have good bats at this point, but they have 5 to 6 lefties in the lineup. So yeah, I'm not laying this price. I make this Bulls Cubs minus 122. On the other end, Anderson he got stretched out to 91 pitches in the opening outing, had 7 strikeouts, 34% called strikes plus whips. Cutter was great. Last season he wasn't really an arm I liked. Almost a 10% walk rate, K rate in the 15% range. But he's not giving up hard contact. His hard contact rate was 29% last season, almost a 16% pop up rate. He lives and dies by soft exit velocity. Cubs are a really interesting team. They have a 65 WRC plus so far, but they have been the most unlucky team when it comes to betting average on balls in play. They are betting 140, so by far the worst luck in the league so far. Their bullpen has been pretty decent also. So yeah, I'm expecting positive regression from the offense. I think Arrieta can keep Pittsburgh in check. And yeah, the Cubs are a bit better team than what we've seen so far from them on the offensive end. And I think Anderson might be nice, but as I said, I'm expecting good things from the Cubs. I'm not going to get involved here. Boston and Baltimore, Erod against Matt Harvey. Such a nice matchup. So yeah, Erod, he got issues after coming off COVID in 2020. He got diagnosed with myocarditis. Then he had a great spring. He pitched 13 innings with 5 Ks and just 2 walks. He had a 2.5-ish ERA. And then he had to. The team had to push him back. He had a dead arm, so he missed his first start. This will be his first start. He threw a bullpen session on Monday, Erod, and they said everything's fine and he's ready to go. But I wouldn't really get on this game, to be honest. Spring looked really good, but obviously the dead arm is a huge concern early on. On the other end, Matt Harvey isn't a guy I will be backing this year or any year if he's still in the league in the next few years. In the opening game against Boston, again, he's pitching against Boston 2 games in a row, which is pretty bad. Erod at least has this luck that the lineup of Baltimore will see him for the first time. So yeah, Harvey went just 4 innings on 86 pitches, 4 Ks, but he gave up 6 hits, 1 walk, 2 earned runs. It wasn't, I mean, he survived. There is nothing more you can ask, but this is not an arm I'm interested in. Arizona at Colorado, Kelly at Gray, minus 117 is the line currently. I'm leaning towards the Rockies a bit here. I think John Gray is not like completely done, and this Arizona team isn't really hurting me, scaring me at this moment. So yeah, Gray obviously had a nice outing against the Dodgers in his opening game. He went 5 innings, only gave up 1 earned run, had 7 Ks, 13 whiffs, and he went 82 pitches. I mean, surviving against the Dodgers in Coors Field, that's a feat on its own, I think. Obviously, that won't be the norm. He's not that good as we've seen in his first outing, but I think there are some good signs there, and I think this Arizona matchup is way easier, obviously. Mary Kelly, he opened the year against the Padres. He went 4 innings, gave up 3 earned, 5 hits, 3 walks. Just 23% called strikes plus whiffs. He went 94 pitches. Yeah, I could see him doing okay here. His stats last season weren't terrible. He had a 3.9 Sierra, 23% K rate, only 4% walk rate, but he gave up 43% hard contact and got lucky with 92% left on base rate in 31 innings. Arizona's bullpen is pretty bad. They already lost a few guys. I think this is a stay away matchup. I'm making this Colorado minus 113. Yeah, no value either way, but I would definitely lean towards Gray and the Rockies here. But both bullpens are pretty bad, so maybe like a Rockies first half play if you can grab like a -110 or something like that. Seattle at Minnesota, Marco Gonzalez, Berrios came out swinging hard. He had his velocity did go up at the end of the last season, and his velocity was even up further from that in his first outing. I think he topped out above 95 miles per hour. Went 6 innings with 12 Ks, no hits, 42% call strikes plus whips, and only 84 pitches to get to 6 innings. I mean, yeah, amazing matchup. But I'm not going to get fooled by this dude. I really like him, but I'm always getting excited by Berrios, and yeah, Jose is just letting me down all the time. He always has these nice starts, strings together a few nice games, and then something just goes, and he's back to like a middling pitcher. But I think this could be his year, to be honest. We will see how this goes, but the first outing was really promising. On the other end, Marco Gonzalez, I mean, the first outing you could probably imagine. In 6 innings, he gave up 8 hits, 5 earned runs, and 3 walks. This wasn't the guy who was walking hitters last season. Yeah, I don't think I want any part of this. He only had a 21% call strikes plus whiffs, only 4 whiffs in 6 innings. Super hittable. Velocity was also a bit below his average from last year, so I'm off him until further notice. Minnesota is obviously overpriced here. I mean, you get Berrios coming off an amazing start and Marco coming off a bad start, and obviously Seattle just sucks. So yeah, you won't find value here. KC at the White Sox, Keller at Lynn. Yeah, Keller is another guy who had a bad first start. He only went 1 inning against Texas, and he got pulled in the second inning. Gave up 9 hits, 6 earned, walked 2 guys. Yeah, his velocity was up versus last year, but we are nothing else. But he isn't a bad pitcher. I want to give. I might back him later, but I really don't understand why the team pushed him back. He was supposed to start yesterday, and now he gets to face the White Sox. Obviously, the team is believing in him, but I mean, this is a struggling pitcher who came out to start the season on a bad outing. You really want to give him an easier matchup than this. I think this is a pretty bad move, and I don't agree with this. Likely not touching the game. This is the lone weather game, if I saw it correctly. Almost 60% chance of rain, high humidity, wind blowing 12 miles per hour. This could even get postponed based on what I could see early. Obviously, we are way, way, way early, so that could change. Weather is a bitch. Lance Lynn, on the other end, I was never extremely high on him. I think he's your typical 4 ERA guy who is very consistent with the strikeouts, had a 26% strikeout rate last season, 109 whip. He has above average stuff basically everywhere, but he's not going to wow you. He went 99 pitches in his first outing, only got to the 5th inning. But I mean, you like the volume, you like the skills. He's on the White Sox. He will get run support. I think this is a good spot. But again, same situation as in the game before. You are not going to find value on a guy on a good team that had a good first outing against a guy on a mediocre team. And Keller had a terrible first outing. Milwaukee at St. Louis, Burns at Wainwright. Poor Waino. Guy is 39 years old. He was pretty decent last season and had a great spring training. He pitched 22 innings, had a 2.4 ERA, 21 strikeouts, and only 4 walks. Looked awesome, and he came out against the Reds in Cincinnati and got his shit pushed back in. 2.2 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, only 1 strikeout, and 5 whiffs. Yeah, I'm liking him, but and I'm not saying this is age, but it could be it. So I have to see him perform well before I back him. Um, on the other end, Burns, he pitched against Berrios in the first outing. He looked amazing. 6 innings, 11 Ks, only gave up 1 hit. Um, Velocity was up on his cutter 3 miles per hour. I mean, yeah, he is amazing, but he is priced like it. I make this game minus 120. Milwaukee minus 120. Price is minus 134. I don't think we will. This will move into playable range on either side, and I would definitely stay away from Wainwright here. Also, 11-mile wind blowing out. Slight chance of rain. Yeah, this isn't looking really good. Yeah, I think this is the main weather game, not the one before. But yeah, so I'm not touching this either way. We won't find value on Milwaukee. Their offense started super bad, although they have a similarly bad luck on balls in play to the Cubs. I think they are the second unluckiest team so far. We will see if that improves or not. LA Angels at Toronto, Canning at Stripling. Yeah, this might be a game where we find some value on the home team here. Canning is making his first start. I'm always liking to back pitchers who already have a start under their belt. Yeah, Stripling wasn't really like super good in his first outing, but it was at the Yankees. He went 3 innings, gave up 3 earned on 7 hits, but he had 5 strikeouts. Went to 77 pitches. This isn't a guy that's going to wow you. Last season's stats weren't really anything special. But I think he's now on his second start at home. The Angels are a considerable step down, in my opinion, from the Yankees. And Canning had a terrible spring. He had a 6.7 ERA this spring, and he gave up 10 walks in 14 innings. And I think that's important to note, as last season he had a 10% walk rate, and this guy, I mean, he's missing bats, has an almost a 12% swinging strike rate, but high hard hit rate, 36% last season, 43% fly ball rate, and the walks. He's super hectic. This isn't a team, really. I think the Jays, you can get away with that. So I would definitely lean towards Toronto here. I show a slight value on the Jays. We will see how this line shapes up through the day. But if we see Angels money, and I mean, Canning is a guy, everyone knows his name. Stripling did look bad in his first start. If we are seeing Angels money, I will be fading that. This is probably the only like strong look today, I think, and it's obviously risky. I mean, Stripling isn't a guy you really want to back, but I think the Jays are a bit better team. I'm kind of thinking Stripling can make this work. Oakland at Houston, Irvin at Javier. Yeah, this is a game where my line was extremely off. I made this Houston minus 108, and the line is minus 158. But as I told you, Oakland, I mean, they have finally won a game, but they still grade 28th in WRC plus, 29th in bullpen rankings, 1-6 so far. Underlying numbers extremely ugly. Irvin, in his opening outing, went 4 innings, gave up 4 earned, 7 hits, only 4 whiffs, and it was against Houston, and he's starting against Houston again. He has like sub 50 innings in the MLB with a 5+ FIP. Houston is rolling early. They are third in WRC plus. Early money also came in on Houston in this game. I'm not really fading that. Yeah, no real thoughts in this game. I think Irvin doesn't really have any upside, and I really don't like what I see from Oakland so far. So completely skipping this. All right, summing up the MLB slate, I think we might have some value on Gray, although I agree with the line. If we see movement towards Arizona, I'm going to fade that. If you are into like super lux, I think Berrios looks real good, although he's slightly overpriced. I don't show any value on him, but I think Lin is again one of those guys. If you are playing the daily fantasy, I think Berrios and Lin are great looks. I think the only value we might see is Stripling starting at home against Canning, who's making his debut this season. And I kind of like Burns. He is a bit overpriced, but not at the level like Berrios or Lin. So yeah, Burns, another pitcher I think who will roll tonight. We have quite few good pitchers here on this day, but overall it's an ugly slate. I think the Jays are a nice overall look, but that's about it. So thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time. If you want to tell my plays, you can go to patreon.com/the Barrel Zone and join the Discord channel. I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, and we will wrap the week up. Tomorrow's slate looks way better, both in the NBA and in the MLB than today's. So yeah, hopefully I can provide some value. Not like I could today. Sadly, it's an ugly day. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys tomorrow.